Joe Show! With me, Joe. This is a show where I read an article a day to keep my stupid away. You learn something, I learn something, we grow together. Yesterday we started an article about how to start a conversation in almost any setting. And we started with professional settings yesterday, going over ways that you could talk to your coworkers or approach colleagues to start a conversation if maybe you're a bit of an introvert. And so today we're going to go over conversation starters for social settings because let's be honest, that's where we all want to start conversations anyways. Whether it's talking to somebody of the opposite sex or whether it's meeting new friends, we all need to learn how to have conversations in social settings. It's nice to have ways to start conversations with strangers. Some of the conversation starters you may find cheesy, while others are going to hit home. Your job, like anything else in life, is to be like Bruce Lee and adapt what is useful, reject what is useless, and add what is specifically your own. God, Bruce Lee, man, dude had the best advice. Be water, my friend. Conversation starters at the gym. Now I want to be honest here. I want to be so honest. I hate talking at the gym. I am not somebody that likes being talked to. Well, at the gym, I'm just not. I'm there to work out. I'm there to improve myself. I'm not there to have a conversation. I'm not there to talk about, I'm not there to have a conversation. I hate being talked to at the gym. Starting a conversation at the gym can be tricky. However, hidden inside the lead below lies just the right mix of self-deprecating humor, which can be extremely effective when done right, as a subtle compliment, making it harder to engage with. For this, I use the lead like as someone who is obviously better than I am at taking care of themselves. So if someone came up to me and said this, actually, I would probably smile and I would be interested in what they had to say next, and I would want to help them out. Here's some other openers that you can use at the gym. When starting out, is consistency more important than intensity? This is actually a good question you should ask a personal trainer, actually. Is a low-carb diet the best way to lose weight? Actually, the best way to lose weight is to measure your food. I tell my friends this all the time, and they don't listen. If you don't know the data that's coming in, you can't calibrate. Do you have any tips on how to stay in shape for someone who travels a lot for work? Yeah, get some bands. If you bring bands with you, they're lightweight, they can be stuffed in any suitcase, and they're really good for on-the-road workouts. Is it even possible to get a six-pack abs if you have a soft spot for booze? Actually, yeah. I drink a whiskey almost every night, and I still have abs. The beauty of the gym is that everyone is taking the steps to improve their health, so immediately you have something in common. Use this to your advantage and ask them about their hard lessons learned and successes earned. You may find you just make a new friend in the process. Conversation starters at a party. Man, I used to be so shy at parties, and I can still be kind of shy at networking events as well. Here's another lead you might use. As someone who is obviously great at meeting new people. Again, this is like a self-deprecating but complimentary lead-in. It's the same with the gym one. So you're putting yourself down like, I'm not very good at talking to people, and then giving them a compliment. Hey, you must be really good at this. It's almost taking a page out of Ben Franklin's book. And actually tomorrow I might cover that lesson. So Ben Franklin had a really good way about turning enemies into friends, and it's kind of almost exactly this line. As someone who's obviously great at meeting new people, are you in sales by chance or a professional speaker? Would you mind giving me a few tips on what to buy my sister for Christmas? She loves fashion, but as you may have noticed, I'm clueless. Is it just me or is it hard not to smile even when reading these last two examples? Just make sure that you adopt the last one to what is authentic to you as an individual. The last thing you want to do is potentially start a relationship under the false pretenses that you like fashion just to get a smile. However, if you do not connect with the examples above, you cannot go wrong with this oldie but goodie. Hi, my name is Joe. How do you know the host? Like I said before, the beauty of the conversation starters and questions above is that you can play a mixing and matching game with them. So let's play a speed round in different social settings to see how they go. Interesting conversation starters in specific social settings, but really situations. I read it wrong. These are some bonus conversation starters, I guess. Conversation starter when on public transportation. Hey, sorry to bother you, I'll only be a minute. So that's another thing that he didn't add in here is this false time constraint, saying, hey, I'll only be a minute. Because as soon as you enter into a conversation with somebody, the first thing that goes on in their head, especially if they're a busy person, is how long am I going to have to deal with this person? How long is this going to take? So adding a false time constraint, like you only have a minute, helps people relax and realize, I won't have to deal with this for very long. So conversation starter when on public transportation. Sorry to bother you. My friends and I have been arguing about something for the last few weeks, and I would love for you to be the tiebreaker. Taking off a year before starting college is a good idea, right? Conversation starter for somebody sitting next to you at dinner. I really admire the positive energy you have. Would you mind sharing with me your secret? No, wait, let me guess. Alcohol. Yeah? Hey, if you're enjoying my content, hit that subscribe button and mash the bell so you get a notification every time I upload a new video, which is currently daily. Thank you. Conversation starter when waiting in line to get coffee. Hey, sorry to bother you before you've had your morning cup of energy. Growing up, my mom and I used to play a game where we guessed what people did for a living. Based on your shoes, are you a nurse by chance? You'll need to adjust that one based on what you observe, but obviously just choose something innocuous or funny, like clown. Clowns have pretty funny shoes. And finally, some conversation starters to avoid when meeting new people. This is stuff that you shouldn't do. In the list of conversation starters above, you may have noticed that I avoided talking about topics like race, sex, religion, money, and politics. The reason for this is not because they are not important, it's because people become much more open in having a discussion if a few commonalities have first been identified. Imagine you put 50 people in a room and start by asking them about their opinion of Trump. Unfortunately, divisions will be made and potential learning experiences will be lost. You're for sure going to divide the room if you just go around and ask everyone, hey, how do you feel about Trump? America is way too polarized for that. Even the world is, I feel like, polarized against that person or with that person. These may not be conversations to solve the world problems. However, they may be what opens the door for trust to be built so that those conversations can indeed take place. In short, by asking questions that have no borders, you make it that much harder for people to put borders back up. Dale Carnegie left us with 1,000,001 nuggets of wisdom during his lifetime. However, when it comes to building relationships, none more important than if you want to be interesting, first be interested. The key to the conversation starters above is that they accomplish just that because they demonstrate to others you are someone who wants to learn from them and about them. However, just because you successfully started a conversation does not guarantee a successful conversation will take place. Once you start a conversation, it's time to give your mouth a rest and activate your ears and give people your undivided attention in order to identify relevant follow-up questions. You must continue listening until you've heard the magical words signifying a connection has been made. What about you? What do you think? To see this in action, we're going to play one last game of mashup, as many of the ideas above can be put into one conversation.
Sorry to bother you, I'm writing an article for recent college graduates, and I have been asking everyone I meet to share with me their favorite piece of career advice. Would you mind sharing yours?
Great question. If I had to narrow it down to just one, I would have to say be present, be on time, and be positive.
Wow, that's a belter. Let me guess, you were in the military?
No, I wasn't, but my dad was, and growing up he used to say, those 8 words were the key to reaching our goals.
I could not agree more, especially with being present. Recently, a friend of mine said, our time is not our most valuable asset. Our presence is.
I love that. What about you? What's your favorite piece of career advice?
Mine's a bit more cliche. Meet as many people as you can and leave each person better than you found them.
So true.
Listen, I have to run, but I really enjoyed talking to you. My name is Joe. By the way, what's yours?
It was nice speaking to you. My name is Liam.
Great talking, Liam. If coffee people are anything, they are creatures of habit. You cool if I connect with you on LinkedIn and we try to link up and continue this conversation the next time you plan on swinging by here, perhaps with a coffee?
And with that example, you can see how you use some of these conversation starters to get and keep a conversation going. Go back and check out this article I've linked below and take some of these, maybe even in the notes app on your phone, add them in just so you can think about it, because it's always nice to have these in your back pocket. And also go out and try them out. The only way that you're actually going to grow and get better at starting conversations is by just trying and having a conversation. And the worst thing that can happen, especially if you have one of these things in your back pocket, is that somebody doesn't want to answer your question or doesn't want to play the game with you. And that's it. So if you like my content, hit subscribe below as I release a video daily. If you read a cool article, send it to hijoeshow@gmail.com. In the meantime, read something good. That's been The Joe Show. I love you.